Hey YouTube! Welcome back to Jewels by the Nile, where we discuss Black excellence and Black enterprise. Today we're going to talk about self-sufficiency through gardening. I'm so glad to have y'all. For real, how much money do you think that you spend each year on vegetables that you could be growing at home yourself? I don't know, but I'm not doing it is the point. So I did the math on this because I wanted to see what the annual food expense was, and it comes to about $6,000 per year. And if you garden, you could take about $1,000 off of that per year. So you do the math. Genuinely, I hate going to the grocery store. So growing vegetables and starting my own grocery store in my backyard would be just my cup of tea. I started gardening last summer because I heard that it was a great way to save money, and I really just wanted to see if I could do it myself. And I could. And so now that I can, I want to keep doing it and keep saving my money. But honestly, the first year of gardening, when I first started, those first few months were really hard for me, and I wish that I had someone that could help me along the journey. So I figured that I would record this, and maybe if you're interested, we could grow our gardens together. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call this the Grow With Me series. Grow with me because you're growing gardening skills, and then we're growing vegetables. It flows. I'm about to go to Lowe's to pick up a few things. Last year, I got all of my gardening supplies from Home Depot, but I heard that that's not the best thing to do. So I'm going to try Lowe's this year in a few nurseries around me. I live in Georgia, so it's a lot of farms around here. So I'm sure I can find resources that I need. This vlogging stuff is really I'm not gonna share wipers. This vlogging stuff is really This vlogging stuff is really Alright, it was a struggle, but we made it here to Lowe's. Y'all, gardening is easy. Don't think it's difficult. It's just very time consuming. That's the only thing about gardening that you have to consider. This wasn't the mission, but look how beautiful these succulents are. So I'm gonna grow a few things from plant starts, and then I'm gonna grow some other things myself. I'm gonna try to pick things that's on the top that ain't been disturbed by nothing. I like to get only Bonnie's plants because I feel like I can trust her. She tried and true and tight like glue. I want something a little bit more young. So for one strawberry, I'm going to grow from a plant start, and then another strawberry I'm going to grow from myself and seed. I'll make sure I get no damage on it. This one is allegedly a baby. I also want an early girl tomato. That's one of my plants that died on me last year. And I'm determined to make sure that I can grow one this year. Let's see if they got one. If not, I'm just gonna get a big boy. Here we go. I'm gonna pick an early girl. When you pick an early girl tomato, make sure that there is absolutely no disease or damage started, because it's gonna be hard to get rid of. Okay, so before you just get started gardening, you need to have a few things besides just the plants, the seeds, and the soil. You need to have, plants need more than just water. So in a empty coffee cream or whatever, I got plant food in here. I just use the blue plant food Miracle Grow that you see. It looks like that blue stuff that's on top of there. And then fertilizer. This is one fertilizer. And then another fertilizer I use fish fertilizer. This is gonna give you a shot of green leafy growth. This is what you need to get your plants off to a healthy start, and then you switch to this fertilizer later. And then something else that you're gonna need, I don't know if you want to do this for your first garden, but what I'm using this year is aspirin. Yes, aspirin, non-coated aspirin that you get at the drugstore to keep my plants healthy. And then this is just a fungicide that I had last year. I think anyone would do. I like to use organic stuff, but these two will help with keeping things healthy. This is neem oil. I get the neem oil max, and I make my own mixture of the neem oil to spray. Y'all excuse my nails, I gotta go get them done. But anyhow, but today, we're working with soil, so it don't matter. But anyway, neem oil, I get the big thing so that I can have a lot, and then I can make it as I need it. And then Epsom sauce. You're gonna need some Epsom sauce for your garden. Just, again, to keep things healthy, keep the soil right. Another thing that you're gonna want to have is you're gonna have a shovel for gardening, pliers, and then I use a box cutter to help me handle other things. The reason anything that is metal in your garden is going to touch your plants or your soil, make sure you clean them with alcohol. We don't want to spread diseases from plant to plant. Today, all I'm going to do is transfer my spearmint and my peppermint into these. This is going to be their home. And then I'll come back and figure out what else we're going to do. Oh. So I just got a condensed pot of soil. And I'm just going to stick one in. Stick another one in. All I'm gonna do is stick a seed here and push it down with my finger into the soil, like so. Cover it up, and then pray for the best. This is my early girl tomato. I wasn't planning on putting her in today. I was gonna let her sit in the transplant for just a little bit more days, but I think she's ready, and I don't want her to keep falling over and those leaves to, become more susceptible to disease. So I'm just going to go ahead and put her in her spot, and then I think I'm gonna pinch these flowers I see coming in off, because the thing about gardening is some of these smaller plants, you're gonna see them starting to have flowers, which means they're ready to bear fruit. But the thing about that is, if they bear fruit, the plant itself isn't going to progress. It's going to focus all its energy on making flowers and fruit, and that's not what we want at this stage. I also went ahead and started 3 cups of lettuce. I don't want to grow like a whole bunch of lettuce, just enough to eat and harvest. I'm gonna keep them in this cup so it'll be, you know, nice and neat. And then I planted some more over here. There's a radish down in there. We'll see what happens. Squash and zucchini. That is zucchini, but I also planted some lettuce right here on the side of it.
2 weeks later.
Alright, we back out here in the garden. It's been 2 weeks since what you last seen. Today, because it's 2 weeks later, it's time to hit my plants with their first dose of fertilizer. I'm going to use fish fertilizer. I'm using this brand. If you can find an Alaskan fish fertilizer brand that's better than this, but this is what I'm going to use today. I'm going to be giving it to, I'm going to give the fish fertilizer to this early girl tonight. I'm going to give some fish fertilizer to this early girl tomato. It's grown since the last time you've seen it. This pepper plant here. I'm gonna give some to the strawberry plant. The lettuce seed that I planted is starting to come in. You can see it. Getting some growth there. But the lettuce won't get any fish fertilizer. I don't want to burn the leaves out. It's radish in here. Nothing is started yet. I will water this, but I won't give it any fish fertilizer yet. This is squash here on this side, and then there's zucchini right here. They'll get their first dose of fish fertilizer because everyone, even though the squash is smaller than the zucchini, the squash has its true leaves, so that means it's ready to take some fish fertilizer. Now, this is also another squash. It's a bit bigger. It's ready for this fish fertilizer. And these are the true leaves of the lettuce I planted around this side of it. It's coming in. I wanted to try to plant some lettuce with some different crops to see how it grows, because I know the roots of lettuce doesn't disturb other crops. So I'm gonna hit it with some fish fertilizer only on this side. Fish fertilizer might burn the lettuce out of here, but it's okay. We got, you know, other trays of lettuce growing. That over there, those are just clovers growing in. That's not lettuce or anything. I'll probably pick that up later. And then there's a slug in there. Like, this is his home. So for slugs, what you want to do is get a coffee mixture and put it in here, and it'll vacate the premises. So on this tomato plant, it has already started to get flowers in. I don't want it to, and you know, flowers are good. Flowers mean fruit is good to come in. But I don't want the fruit to come in yet because I don't think my early girl is mature enough for that. I want her to be strong. She has, you know, adjusted to the environment because it's been 2 weeks that the plants have been in my garden. But I think it's just too early in the season to let it bear fruit. So I'm gonna go ahead and snip this set off right here. I'm using clean shears. I make sure that I sanitize these with alcohol because I don't want to spread disease in my garden. So make sure you either clean these at the kitchen sink or clean them with alcohol. Clean them with alcohol is the best option. So what taking the set off does is it allows the plant to not put energy into making and producing fruit. It's going to continue to put its energy into making sure that this plant is growing healthy and strong, and it gets to maturity. I think these take months to get to full maturity, so fruit will bear on this tree before it gets to full maturity, but the purpose is for it to be strong enough so it won't be stressed out from being in this environment, and it's strong enough to bear fruits without being stressed enough to it won't be stressed to the point where it can't fight off disease and other environmental factors. So that's why we want to take this one. I'm also going to go ahead and remove any dead leaves that I've seen. This one's pretty good. I think this is the only dead leaf I see on this one. These here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and trim these off. So I filled my jug, my gallon water jug, with 2 tablespoons of fish fertilizer, and then I filled the whole gallon to make my fertilizer mix. What I don't want to say about that. Yikes. Oh, on my on the type I got, it recommends that I do 3 per gallon, 3 tablespoons per gallon, but I won't do that this time because I don't want to burn my leaves. I don't want the roots to burn, and the plant is still pretty young, so I'm not going to give it the full dose, and I actually feel like I should have probably given it a little bit less than what I'm giving it now, but I'm going to spread it out between all of my plants, so I think it'll be alright. Okay. So everybody got their hit of fish fertilizer, and I did the watering, so everybody did watering. I made myself a cup of coffee, and now I'm using the coffee grounds in this part of the small garden to prevent slugs and roly-polies. This won't kill them, but what it'll do is it'll intoxicate them, so they won't want to live in my garden. So I'm gonna sprinkle this around. I also found this instant coffee. I'm gonna sprinkle this around. It's expired. I'm gonna sprinkle this around my garden that's on the ground. Those roly-polies and slugs really disrespected my squash and my cucumbers last year, and I want to try to prevent that from happening. So I'm just gonna lay the coffee around the bed and in the actual bed itself and see what happens. So hopefully seeing what I do in my garden helped you all to, get started with your garden, gave you some tips, maybe gave you some confidence on getting your garden started. It's not that hard. It's not rocket science. Anybody could do it. Children can literally start their own garden. Our garden, because I like it, it's a stress reliever, but then I also do it because I know over time it cuts down on the grocery cost, and I know a lot of people, when it comes time for that grocery bill, that's money they ain't trying to give up for real. So with me just getting started, I think, as I continue to do this, I'll be able to cut the cost even more on groceries. But that's a wrap. I'll see you guys on the next one. Please subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, and go check out some of my other videos. They'll be somewhere over here or over there, one of these places. Just go check them out.